Well, hello to everybody here. It's Teresa Sanderson. I'm excited to connect with you today. Today, we're talking about what nurses really need to start a CE business with a spoiler alert that it is not an extra degree. So, I want to thank you for joining me today. And I'm super excited to share this content with you because a lot of nurses are getting stuck and wanting to start a business in nursing continuing education, and they just really can't figure out exactly how to do that. And mostly it's because the path honestly isn't clear. If you are like one of the many nurses I talk to every single day who finally connects with me and says, Teresa, I've been trying to figure out for at least 2 years how to add CE credit to courses or become a nursing CE provider, then know that you're not alone. There are a lot of people that connect with me that way every single week. And, you know, it's a shame that the information is so hard to find, but it is kind of hard to find. And then once you find it, it can seem really intimidating or overwhelming to kind of walk through the process of how do I begin to do this? How do I begin to add nursing CE credit to my courses? So here's what keeps most nurses spinning their wheels. Okay, even at that point of just not being able to find the information, right? Nurses begin by trying to figure out everything by themselves, right? Which can lead to a lot of frustration. And quite honestly, I am really surprised when people tell me I've been trying to figure this out for 2 years and they are still looking, okay? They are still looking for the answers. So when we try to do things that we've never done before and we don't have support to do them, we are going to end up struggling and spinning our wheels. Many times we can overcomplicate the process all by ourselves just by doing too much research, right? So there are certain personalities. Some of you know that I do a lot of work in personality science, but there's a personality type called the knowledge personality type who really thrives on information and research. But this also can be a detriment when you have found the information and you continue to research instead of putting it in drive and moving forward, right? Some nurses also believe the myth that only certified educators, hospitals, and universities can teach and provide nursing CE credit. Not true. And then there's the idea that nurses spin their wheels because they don't know where to start, who to contact, and what to include. So these are things that I want to fix for you today. As we go through this quick video, I want to tell you what you really need to start a nursing CE business. And there are really 6 things, 6 simple things. First of all, you want to have an engaging, relevant topic that solves a problem for your target audience, which is who? Nurses. So, what kind of things are nurses struggling with right now today that you have a solution for? And how can we bring that to them in the form of a nursing continuing education course? Here's some examples. Some of the things that I see happening all day, every day, are nursing leaders complaining about or just struggling with how do I get buy-in from my nursing team? Anytime I try to make a change, even if it's positive change, nobody wants to be a part of it, right? So, what about a course for nursing leaders called Communicating with Influence for Nursing Leaders, How to Gain Buy-in from Your Nursing Team? Do you see what I mean? Simple solution. For maybe psychiatric nurses, de-escalation techniques for psychiatric nurses. For any nurse or nursing leader who knows the pain of resolving patient and family complaints and or doesn't feel really qualified to manage patient or family complaints, how about a course called How to Manage Patient and Family Complaints, right? So that you can get your time back and you can help patients and families, give them what they need, and instead turn them into raving fans rather than a patient or family who's unhappy, right? There are ways to do that, and it's called service recovery, but not everyone knows it. But it is a valuable, valuable skill. Would you not agree? Would you not agree? It's a big time sucker, too, time waster for both nurses and nursing leaders. So, the second thing you need, okay, so we talked about having the engaging, relevant topic. The second thing you need, of course, you're going to have to prepare the course. So you're going to need your title, your behavioral objectives, an outline. You're going to need to have a current reference list, okay? And usually that reference list is going to be formatted in APA format, that kind of thing, right? So you got to develop the course. So you need a topic, you've got to develop the course, and next you need to understand CE approval requirements. You need to know enough about that to work within that framework. Okay, and so every state has a different process for approving and awarding CE credit. There are also national accrediting agencies. So you can either establish yourself, what it boils down to is this: you can either establish yourself as a nursing CE provider, or you can work with an already approved CE provider like Nurses Feed Their Young to help you get your course approved to award CE credit. Okay, so you have a couple different ways to go. Then, of course, you need to decide on your teaching method. How are you going to present your course? Today, especially since the pandemic, we're doing so much more in the online space, digitally with webinars and online courses and things like that. So, will you offer your course as a live webinar, an in-person workshop? Will it be a 1 hour course, a multi-hour course? So, things to think about. Will you offer a self-paced course, perhaps online? Or will you have a recorded training, like recorded video with handouts and downloads? All of these are options, and it's really good for you to be able to decide, how do you want to present? What is the best way possible for you to present that content so that the nurses you aim to serve are really going to be able to receive it well and get the most out of it? Okay, that's what it boils down to. But now, the next thing is you need a way to collect payments and track attendance. Okay, so because remember, a CE business is still a business. So you're going to need tools like a way to register your students. How will you do that? Do you want to do it manually, or do you want it kind of automated online? For me personally, I prefer automated online. I do not keep paper records anymore. You want to be able to accept payments. And let's face it, most of that is online these days. We're not sending checks in the mail anymore. So you'll need a payment processor to be able to do that. And you'll need to be able to print and provide nursing continuing education certificates when people complete their courses. So tools like a website with a learning management system, that's also called an LMS in case you get lost in the jargon, that has the ability to accept your payments and automatically print certificates is going to be really valuable for you. I would love to say that you don't need a learning management system or a website. However, not most people are not looking to teach only in the in-person space. And so if you want to be able to take your courses online or have a recording available for people, I definitely recommend this as one of the first things you do. But lastly, number 6, you need a business roadmap. You need a plan. You need a system that's going to help you identify, who is your target audience? Are you speaking to every nurse or a small population of nurses? What are your goals for your CE program? How much income do you want to generate? How many courses do you plan to develop? What do you want to have available, 3 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now? How do you envision your nursing CE business, right? How do you set prices? You need a system for that. And also you need to know, how will you market your courses? Okay, you can have the best course in the world, and if nobody knows it's out there, you're going to stall. Okay, and that's going to leave you in that with that feeling that you're spinning your wheels, and we don't want that for you. Okay, so here are some things. We've talked about the 6 things that you do need for a nursing continuing education business, but here are some things that you don't need. You do not need a master's degree. You don't need another certification. You do not need the title of educator, and you don't need a huge social media following. What you need is a system, a plan, and support. I want to step back just a second and talk about why all of this matters to the future of nursing. I think we all know that nurses are leaving the bedside in record numbers. We know that our new grad nurses, about 40% of them at least, are leaving our profession entirely in the first 2 years. Okay? A lot of nurses are saying, yes, they feel burnout, they feel exhausted, and they need career options, but they're also saying, I didn't feel supported. I felt that there was a lack of leadership available for me. Okay? So in my opinion, nursing continuing education can bridge the gap for many of our new grad nurses. Just imagine if we were able to provide an online course that supported medical surgical nurses as they navigate their first year in med-surg. What could we offer that would be similar to that for the ICU space and various different types of nursing, oncology, and whatever else there might be, right? So I believe that nursing continuing education, unfortunately, has been terribly misused for decades, but we have the opportunity to do it differently, right? We have the opportunity to dare to do nursing differently, dare to do nursing CE differently, and use CE that can actually support nurses in building sustainable careers and at the same time generating new income streams for nurses who are looking for options and maybe need to serve nurses in a different way. You can also, of course, through additional income, you're going to create time freedom and flexibility, but you're going to help other nurses succeed, and you're also going to regain your own sense of purpose and confidence. So, nursing CE is so much more than a business in all actuality. It's a real way to give back to the profession that I know has given me so much, not without its fair share of challenges, I'll say that, but if I can leave it better than I found it, that's definitely the kind of nurse that I want to be. So if you have been stuck spinning your wheels, you're stuck researching, you're stuck feeling like, starting a CE business or even learning about it is just too complicated, I'm here to get you unstuck today. I'm here to get you unstuck and talk to you about the clarity that you need and how I can help you get where you want to be. So if you're ready to stop struggling and start moving toward your goal of starting a nursing CE business, click the link below and go ahead and take our Nursing CE Business Snapshot. It is a very quick assessment that's going to tell you immediately whether or not you are on track and perhaps already further prepared than you ever dreamed you were to start a nursing continuing education business. It's totally free. And I hope you'll go ahead and take the snapshot today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Bye.